it's becoming more common for couples to choose the gender of their child. The process involves a combination of in vitro fertilization and a genetic screening called PGD. During PGD, embryos are tested for genetic abnormalities, and the doctor can reveal the gender of the embryos if parents opt in.
We already have a healthy daughter, and so we are talking about choosing the sex and choosing a son the second time around.
Recently, the process gained more attention when model Chrissy went public with her IVF and gender selection process. She had a girl in April 2016 and a boy this May. Like most women, Tegan and McKinnon didn't set out to choose gender. They underwent IVF to treat infertility and then found out that tests for genetic diseases could also reveal gender.
Before starting IVF, there was not even a thought in my mind that you could choose gender. We just assumed that you have a child and it's just luck of the draw and you get what you get. And then once we started IVF and there was this opportunity to choose a gender, it becomes very enticing.
While it was medically necessary for McKinnon, some clinics are now advertising gender selection as the primary reason for women to undergo IVF. At the forefront of this trend is the fertility institutes. This series of clinics is known for sex selection. Despite the nearly $20,000 price tag, 85% of their patients come for this reason.
The bulk of the patients that we see are doing in vitro fertilization only to choose the gender. We do not require people to have a first baby in order to request the gender on their second baby.
McKinnon was shocked people would go to such lengths.
That does surprise me that there would be an opportunity to choose a gender just because you want to. It was such a hard and long and laboring process to even get to the point of being pregnant. It was just an added bonus that we could choose the gender.
Worldwide, many countries ban sex selection unless it's medically necessary, including Australia, China, Canada, India, and the UK. It's unregulated in the US, but Steinberg says most clinics have strict requirements.
Most clinics in the US, I would say 98%, require that it either be for family balancing or for some genetic reason. And again, most clinics, over 70% of the clinics in the US, won't do it at all. They just don't want to be bothered with gender selection.
A common concern is that gender selection will skew the population, like in China and India, where boys are favored. But in Steinberg's clinics, the ratio is nearly 50-50. Some ethicists are worried that this trend is a slippery slope, inevitably leading to designer babies. Already, the Fertility Institute is advertising eye color selection to parents, and the option to eliminate genetic abnormalities raises hard questions about the value of disability in society.
It was a really interesting thought process, knowing that we could potentially choose the gender. You know, is this messing with God's plan? Is this something that we shouldn't even be involved with? But ultimately, we decided that because this science and technology is available to us, why not take advantage of it?
Hank Greeley, a lawyer specializing in medical ethics, says there's no consensus about what should or should not be permissible when it comes to using genetic analysis to handpick traits.
Some people think it should only be used to avoid serious diseases, whatever a serious disease is, and whoever gets to define that. Others think it should be usable for any disease. Others see no problem with hair color, eye color, skin color, but have real problems with things like intelligence or sports ability or math ability.
While doctors agree that we're nowhere close to determining intelligence or athleticism, Steinberg predicts cosmetic traits are on the horizon.
I think in our lifetimes we're going to see hair color, we're going to see hair texture, and we may see height.
Greeley and Steinberg emphasize that with genetic analysis, trait selection is limited by the parents' genes. If parents don't carry the genes for blue eyes, they can't create a blue-eyed kid. And if they don't produce male embryos through IVF, they can't have a boy. Right now, fertility treatments are expensive and usually not covered by insurance. But Greeley believes that insurance companies will start to subsidize the cost of IVF, as eliminating genetic diseases may save them money in the long run. If this future comes to pass, sex selection would become a very real option for everyone, and as genetic analysis improves, the list of traits parents can choose will only grow. Then there's new gene editing techniques like CRISPR, which open up the possibility of truly creating designer babies.
What gets people really excited about embryo editing is issues of enhancement. Not just fixing diseases, but changing people to make them bigger, better, stronger, to make them X-Men.
But where we draw the line, whether it's choosing gender or creating superhumans, remains unclear.